checking in. This is a live stream that consists of nothing more than in my backyard. We have a thunderstorm about to roll in. So this is just my backyard, nothing special really. We're gonna have a thunderstorm roll through, so this is just a live stream of my backyard really. Nothing more than that. I'm gonna walk away from the camera and leave it here. If you're tuning in, you could probably just say what's up and everything, but eventually I might walk away from the camera and just leave it live in case you are in lockdown somewhere and you just want to see a live stream of my backyard. We're gonna have some rain bands come through here, so this gives you guys a pretty good I don't know if you're locked down wherever the crap you are, but we're gonna have some rain bands come through in a little bit, so it should be a really nice relaxing thing. Well, we got 17 people already. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? If you got any questions to ask, now would be. I got videos to make. Today's gonna be a home day. Nice. I love it out here. It's so relaxing. And we're gonna have a rain band come through here in a little bit. It's very relaxing. This is a view from my back porch. I mean, just sit back here and watch the rain bands. You're new to Montgomery. Cool. Where'd you come from? What area? I'm gonna tell you, Montgomery needs a little bit more people out here. The jobs are here. The houses are affordable. It just needs a little bit more people. Montgomery needs a little bit more people. It's all right, man. I like it more than even Birmingham's got more stuff to do. But as far as a place to live, it's better because there's more work and more affordability. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually gonna I'm doing a video. I should be doing a video. I should stay at home. Like I like to hit the road and travel and stuff. But it looks like today, West Coast. Yeah, wow, that's a big change. I mean, it's very affordable here. I mean, you could rent in Montgomery for like 800 or 900 a month, something decent. And there are jobs. And if you're able to start your own business, it's even better. I don't know if you've been able to find work yet or whatever, but I saw a place that was hiring. I don't know what type of work you're looking for. If you've been following you during my move, cool. That's cool. Have you found work yet? I saw a place on. I don't know what type of work you're looking for, but or if you already have a job. But there's a company. I just saw a sign when you're coming up on Day Street. So Day Street comes right. It turns into 85, really Interstate 85. So if you keep going on Interstate 85 heading west, so eventually you can either go north or south on 65, or you can go on Day Street. And Day Street turns into 31, I believe, eventually. But on Day Street, there's a big warehouse, and they say they're hiring like all types of people. They're hiring like people for all types of stuff, like driving equipment, I guess. I don't know what they do in there. But if you need like a trucking job or an equipment job or something like that, or at a warehouse. But anyways, on Day Street, there's a place hiring right now. They got a big sign up saying they're hiring. So there's definitely work. There's definitely work out here. You just got to find something. We'll have a rain band come through. You have a job for the railroad. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. That is cool. That is a cool job. I can hear the trains going into Montgomery from where I live. Thanks for all the info. I'm glad to help. I mean, for me, Montgomery's been great. Now, I looked at some statistics last night because I'm working on videos. When I do these videos, I do have to look at more statistics because it's got to make sense. It's not just my opinion when you start making top 10 videos a lot of times. And, the poverty rate in Montgomery for whites is like 7%, which is incredibly low. I mean, the poverty rate for a city that big to be 7% for a race is incredible. But then I looked at African American, it's like 23%, and like Latinos like 42%. It's like, oh man, that is just wrong. That ain't right. Unless you're white, then it's perfect. Oh man, that's just wrong. You have aided me in my move. I've helped a lot of people. This channel has been incredible as far as helping people. And that's why I moved. When this channel started to pop off about a year ago, I knew I had to move, and I had to move somewhere totally. I had to do like something incredible because something difficult and challenging, because I knew that at that point my videos were helping so many people, and they were going to help so many people, that I had to do something like move myself. And that's just move like hour away. I meant like move like really far away, because now that I've been able to experience what it's like moving, I can actually help other people better, because I had never moved as an adult. Like I knew I had to go for it, and let me tell you, going for affordability will make your life better. The value of a dollar is incredible here. Yeah, unless you're buying a used car. For some reason, if you're buying a used car here, that's where your dollar doesn't go too far. 'Cause people value their vehicles here a lot. So buying a car here can be a pain in the butt. Like you might just want to go down to Florida if you're buying a car, or Tennessee or something. I don't know. Gas on the West Coast is approaching $4. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and like in Montgomery, in a nice looking neighborhood, like really nice, pretty, like Perry Hill, it's a pretty looking neighborhood. You'll get a house in there. Do I work in Montgomery? Actually, when I first moved here, I thought that I would end up living out here in the suburbs and commuting into Montgomery. I thought I would have to commute to that's like the logical thing. Like I live in the suburbs. I live on the northern edge of the suburbs, so I will have to commute into the city. It turns out that I don't work in Montgomery at all because I render a service that goes. I render a service that's used in a residential environment. Like most of my 99% of my customers are residential. So it turns out that instead of me going into the city to work, I actually go into the suburbs to work more than anything. And there's suburbs on the north side. There's Prattville and Millbrook. So I do a lot of work in Prattville and Millbrook on the north side. But there's also suburbs on the east side of Montgomery. The whole east side of Montgomery suburbs. They're part of city limits, but they're suburbs. And then there's Pike Road, Mount Meigs. Turns out that 80% of my work is in on the east side of Montgomery, like for the most part, when I'm not working over here. But if I'm going into Montgomery, like I've only worked in Montgomery like 3 or 4 times, like within like the city core. Now on the east side of Montgomery, like around Taylor Road, 231, I'm always in there. Always. Oh, matter of fact, yesterday I worked in there. I've never called anywhere in Montgomery, the suburbs. It's Montgomery. I get it, yeah, but like let's be honest, like the east side of Montgomery, it's suburbs because it's like, it's new areas that were recently built, newer houses. It's a suburban place. I know most people don't like what to hear that, but that's just to me, it's a suburb. To me, the whole anything like to me, like because it's different. I guess like within within the loop, within like 80 and 231. Like the urban core, like the older part of the city, because like anything like around Taylor Road, that's all new stuff. It's not suburbs. I know. But anyways, I end up working on the east side of Montgomery a lot. Like a lot. A lot. I'm in there a lot. Constantly in there. And I mean, like, I would actually reconsider moving to the east side of Montgomery because I'm on the north side. I would actually reconsider moving to that side of Montgomery, the east side of Montgomery, because I do get a lot of work in there, a lot. But that's for what I do. I've lived in Montgomery for 40 years, and all my remodeling work is in Montgomery. Wind Lake, Hawken. Yeah, I mean, everybody gets in. You're getting your groove, depending on what you do. The people in Montgomery, for being a large city, are super friendly. Now, there is nonetheless still a age-old question here. When you go work for people, the work environment, especially if you end up in fast food or something, the work environments are horrible here. That's a complaint that I just talked to somebody about yesterday. Work environments are horrible here. Horrible work environments, really. If you're like in fast food or whatever, it's very competitive and all that crap. People are snitching and the whole package. So every once in a while, I don't know if that's a hummingbird or a wasp, but I used to have I think what I'm gonna do what I need to do in the summer is I need to make a live cam out here and put a honeybird feeder because not honey, what do you call it? Hummingbird feeder, and put a live cam on it because the amount of hummingbirds that come through here in the summer is incredible. So I'm gonna put out some flowers and stuff and just see if we can get some hummingbirds to come through. Because I remember one day I used to have a plotted flower and it was next to my window, and I was having a Zoom meeting, and I like to sit next to the window because I like to look outside when I'm doing these Zoom meetings. I like to look outside. I don't like to look inside. I don't like to look at walls. I like to look at open spaces. When I'm looking at I'm standing next to this potted plant next to my window. I couldn't believe how many hummingbirds came up. And this was just one tiny little plant with a flower. How many hummingbirds came through. So I think I'm going to put probably back here on the back porch. I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna put some. What do you call these? Like there's some flower beds, and then maybe put a live cam on it. What do you do for work? I do. I have a junk removal company. So basically, what I help people do is I haul away furniture. Basically, it's 90% of what I do, and then moving boxes, furniture. I try to stick to the residential side. I bypass the commercial side because it's usually too much, too heavy, too much. They want too much crap. They have too many regulations. So I've been sticking mostly to, residential houses. You know what I mean? Like just doing that type of stuff, cleaning up people's garages, hauling away furniture and debris, mostly on the residential side. Finally got to visit Alabama a couple months ago. Beautiful country, loved it there. Yeah, it's amazing up here, bro. What it do? What's happening, man? What's happening, DJ? Just chilling out here in my backyard, man. I was gonna just walk away from the live stream, just let it be a live stream from my backyard, but then I started talking to you guys. I have to. Today's gonna be a rainy day, so I can't really hit the road. I don't have any jobs scheduled, and there are specific flowers that attract more hummingbirds. Look into it. Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah, like a hummingbird live cam. And of course, it's gonna be boring unless you guys start to talk to each other. I'm not always gonna be here like, in the live stream while it's happening, but what I want to do is I want to set up a live cam overlooking some flower beds so you guys can see the hummingbirds in my backyard. It's incredible. Set up a permanent, like I might even put up a camera. I'll figure it out. When you about to head back to Florida, need to visit Ocala. Yeah, I want to go back to Florida. Can I just be honest about why I'm not back in Florida right now? Because I'm broke. I've been doing too much crap around the property, too much around the house, and I'm broke. I can't just go to Florida broke. I gotta wait till that next YouTube check comes through on the 23rd, or if I get some big jobs. I'm broke. I gotta wait. I woke up today and I was like, man, I want to go back to Florida today. You know what I mean? Like I woke up today. Like that's another thing. Like if you move, you're gonna miss wherever you're coming from. You're gonna miss it. Like there's no like I woke up today. I was like, man, I want to be in Florida so bad today. Yeah, gas isn't the real thing about being on the road. The thing about being on the road is you gotta have like a fund in case like let's say a tire breaks at night. Now you gotta get a hotel. You gotta get a tow truck. You gotta fix your vehicle. You might need $2,000-3,000. Like I could go to Florida and come back, but I wouldn't go comfortably because I would be like in the back of my mind would be like, what if a tire explodes? What if my transmission goes out? One time I had a really bad experience while traveling. My transmission broke in Jacksonville. I lived in Naples, and my transmission broke in Jacksonville. I made it to Ocala, and I got some friends in Ocala where I was able to park the truck at their property, so I wouldn't have to pay. The truck limped all the way from Jacksonville, limped all the way to Ocala. And I got some friends north of Ocala around Spring Hill and Brooksville. And I was able to kind of park the truck there in Ocala, on the north side of Ocala. My buddy in Spring Hill knew a buddy in Ocala. He says, go to Ocala. So they had a big farm in horse country, and I was able to park. I didn't know the guy very well back then, but he let me park my truck on his property until I can get it towed because I didn't have enough money to, So that's the thing. Like you could be on the road right now, and you might have $1,000 on you, and you're good for gas, food, hotels, all of that. But what happens if now your transmission stops working and you're 500 miles from home? Now you need a hotel. Now you need a tow truck. Now you need this, that. So that's the thing about traveling is since I've had so many bad experiences far from home that I don't like to travel unless I can afford like literally to tow my vehicle back to the house, So if I'm going somewhere, it's not just do I have enough money for hotel and gas and food and all that. It's also, okay, what happens if right now my transmission breaks right now and I'm 600 miles from home? Can I afford to pay a tow truck to get my car back? Can I afford to stay in a hotel for a week while I'm fixing my transmission here? You know what I mean? So that's why I'm not in Florida right now. But I woke up today and I'm like, man, if it were up to me, I'd be on the road right now. I would be driving to Florida right now. I want to be in Florida right now. Because that's the thing, you're going to miss wherever the crap you came from. If you move, eventually, here's the sun came out. It's supposed to start raining. Now the sun comes out great. It's not supposed to sun. It's supposed to rain. Y'all should look at getting a camper van sometimes, like a caravan. It's impractical. Like when I travel, the bigger my equipment is, the more hassle it is for me. I stay in hotels. You eventually have to. A camper wouldn't be the most practical thing for me because then I need to be I need that mobility when I travel because I'm doing the videos, so it wouldn't really make sense. Honestly, I could be on the road right now, but I put wheels on my car. This month I did a lot. I put wheels on my car. I put window tints on my car, and I've already had to use the wheels because I live out here. I mean, look at the muck here. Like when you get stuck, I got stuck here. Like you can see, I cut a tree down right there. You see that tree stump right there? You see that tree stump right there? My truck actually like got stuck. I cut down. There used to be a tree right there. You see that big hole? That was the roots to a giant tree that was stuck right there. And what had happened was my truck. I was pulling this big tree stump that was right there, and my truck slid because it's really mucky here. And my truck slid and it landed sideways up against this tree. And in order to get the truck out, we had to cut the tree down. That's how. Like, it's really muddy here. I live in Indiana now, but want to move to Florida. Yeah, I would not want to be in Indiana. Good, friendly people, like small town vibes in Indiana, but the freaking cold, man. Man, Indiana is cold as crap. I wouldn't want to be there. The only thing good about Indiana is the people. Really cool people. At least everybody that I've met from Indiana, like small town, really friendly, Midwestern, you know what I mean? You're not going to get those friendly people in Florida. Let me tell you that right now. When you get to Florida, you're going to be like, wow, these people are rude as crap. But I wouldn't want to be in Indiana. All of Florida, this and you miss. Yeah, I'm just being real. Like, there's some things I like about Florida, some things I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, there's things I love about Florida. Ohio is brutal in the winter. Toledo, it gets to 20. Oh yeah, 20 below. That's more than I can handle. Let me tell you, 20 below to no thanks. I'll pass on that. It's supposed to start raining here any minute. There's a cold front coming through. So what I'm gonna do for you guys today, from Wisconsin, and I want to move anywhere that's warmer. Yeah, I bet. Wisconsin's amazing people. Like, think about Wisconsin. Like, what I would really want to do, if I could, I would have a house in the summer. Like, have a summer house in Wisconsin. Spend the summer in Wisconsin, and when it gets cold, come back to Alabama or Florida or something. Dude, there's so many like little finches and birds out here. Like right now, I'm looking at a bird. I don't know what it is. I can't really point the camera over there because it's my neighbor's house, and I don't want to be rude. But there's like a little bird, and it can walk up and down the tree. Like, I'm sure you've seen like carpenter birds do that, where they can walk. There's the sun came out finally. But it's supposed to rain. It's not supposed to sun. Um. Anyways, these little birds are so cute. They can walk up and down the tree bark. Then again, down in Ocala, the summer is just, oh my gosh, the heat. Like right now, I'm outside. I just took a shower. Like, I'm not sweating or nothing. Like, the weather here right now is perfect. I'm not sweating. I'm not anything right now. I live in Lafayette, Indiana, and they're friendly here and gets so cold, like 0 in the winter. Yeah. Yeah, the people in Indiana are really friendly. You're probably gonna, like, if I could, I would have a house in Wisconsin or something. Spend the summer in Michigan or Wisconsin. But even, like, I couldn't believe how expensive, like, I could have literally bought a summer house in Michigan, where Katie's from, for $40,000 or $50,000. We could have bought a house in Michigan, where Katie's from. And well, actually, they're getting snow in northern Michigan right now, and I'm outside without in a t-shirt, comfortable. It's not hot, it's not humid. See, right now in Florida, I'd be sweating, and right now in Canada, like where Katie's from, up in Michigan, it's snowing in Michigan right now. Northern Michigan got snow this morning, but here we got a rain band coming through. I mean, I'm outside. The mosquitoes aren't biting yet. It's not that time of the year yet. I'm outside. I haven't broken a sweat. And, people in Alabama are like, oh, the summers in Alabama are humid and they're horrible and they're terrible. I'm like, yeah, but in Florida, it's the summer, the spring, the winter, the fall, the whole year round. You get that humidity. So, I think that's a hummingbird or a big moth. I can't see. There's a big black moth flying right through there somewhere. Sometimes it's hard. I don't know if it's too early for hummingbirds yet, but this will be my first spring in Alabama. You can tell I had to cut. I cut that tree. I cut that one. I cut that one. There used to be a giant tree bark. I mean, it was like 3 feet. A giant tree, like the size of that one that fell here, and I cut that out of the way. And then I put this winter grass, all this green grass you see, I put that all in. The oak trees are starting to come back. You can see they're kind of like breaking through here and there. The oak trees are starting to come back. But this is my back porch, and my front porch is pretty too, but I'm not going to show you guys too much of that. It's pretty back there. I should put my shoes on and walk back there and show you. We should hang out by the creek, but it's going to rain, so we'll show here. There's a lot of big bees too. Like here's a bumblebee. You see it? You guys saw the bumblebee? There it goes. Big giant bees. So the humidity is, oh yeah, the humidity in Florida is unbearable. Gosh, is it unbearable. It's so, the worst areas are in South Central Florida and around the Ocala National Forest. It is so bad. I couldn't believe how bad the humidity was, in the Ocala area, north of Interstate 4. I'm trying to lean Florida weather. Yeah, Florida weather stuff. Bro, that humidity. I was in the summer in Ocala National Forest, Gainesville. Yo, that area is unbearable. It's actually worse than South Florida. Because at least in Naples, you have the Gulf breeze. You don't even have that. But I don't mind it. How about Tennessee? ¿Cómo está Jose? St. Mary's. Oh, St. Mary's, Georgia is beautiful. And you're right next to Jacksonville, which is a big city. So if you're coming from Miami or something, you're going to want to be near a big city. Jacksonville's a big city. So St. Mary's, Georgia is great. Now, I didn't know this when I made that first video many years ago. I know it now. If you live in Georgia, you can't work in Florida. That's just, it's a law. Florida doesn't let people who live in Florida, what Florida did, it made laws. Florida thought it was better than Alabama and Georgia. So Florida made laws where if you live in Georgia or you live in Alabama, you can't work in Florida. It's illegal. So they thought that what that would do is that, because Florida thought that it was better than those two states, and that law needs to be taken away. It's stupid. But basically what it did is, if you live in St. Mary's, Georgia, you can't commute into Jacksonville for work. It's not legal. To work in Florida, you have to live in Florida. It's a Florida law. You worked in Tallahassee. Yeah, I don't know. Can you explain that to me, how that works, Chris? Break it down for me if you know a little bit more. Explain how that works. So basically, I don't know how the law works, but it's like a law that's aimed at keeping people from Alabama and Georgia from working in Florida. So if you live in St. Mary's, Georgia, you're going to have to find work, I believe. There's that big bumblebee. I'm just going to stand still. There it goes. I would love to see Maryville, Tennessee. Okay, I'll see if I can get up there when I get a chance. But anyway, St. Mary's, Georgia is a really nice town. Really friendly people. And the only thing that I heard from the locals on that video is, like, a lot of locals said that if you live in, lots of people in Thomasville, Georgia work in Tallahassee. Yo, I like Thomasville. That's one town I really want to get to. Now, I got a friend that lives in Cairo, which is near there too. So I'm familiar with Cairo, Bainbridge, Thomasville, not too much. I mean, I drove through there at most. I got a funny story in Thomasville. That's where I went to a buffet there. Is that a bumblebee, or what is that thing? A big black thing right there. It's like a butterfly, but it moves really fast. I don't know if it's a butterfly or a hummingbird or a bee, but it's black, solid black, and it moves really fast. But anyways, I went to a buffet near Thomasville, and that's I'm walking to this buffet, and there's this meat, and I asked the person, "What's this meat?" And they're like, "You a city boy?" I'm like, "I'm from Florida." Like, you don't want to know what that is. You just want to eat it, and they don't. I'm like, "Can you just tell me what it is?" I mean, it tasted good, and they're like, "You don't want to know." So the meat was good. I never knew what it was. They wouldn't tell me what the meat was. They're like, "You're a city boy. You don't even want to know." Yo, what that chico? What's happening, man? But yeah, I like St. Mary's, Georgia a lot. It's a really nice town, and Kingsland has a little bit of work, and there's also military jobs there. But it's gone up a little bit in price. I'm not really a fan of the real estate options in my price range when it comes to St. Mary's, Georgia. You know what I mean? Like, it's gotten... I can't believe that area hasn't grown more. I thought that area was going to grow a lot. But the people are so friendly there. I mean, like, really small town. So St. Mary's, Georgia is nice. But there's no other large city unless you come into Florida. So you got to figure out how that works between living in Georgia and working in Florida, because chances are you're not going to find good work on the Georgia side. But I like it. I like that area a lot. I like it a lot. That's the only areas that I've really liked in Georgia. I haven't been to Thomasville yet. I need to check out Thomasville. I think Thomasville will be a great place for me to live in, because the videos, when I look at my analytics of which videos get the most views, here's the areas that get the most views: North Florida, Albany, Georgia gets incredible views. Columbus, Georgia, I get incredible views. Jacksonville gets incredible views. So like I'm a little bit too far to the north. I think a little bit back towards Alabama, Georgia, like where the three states meet, I think would be a better place for me to live. So I think Thomasville is probably the only Warner Robins, Georgia. The thing about Warner Robins for me, I hear it's a good place. I haven't been there in a while. I'm actually gonna put it on my list of best places to move to in the South. I'm gonna drop a video. I'm probably gonna do it today, of the top 10 best places to live in the South. So that video, that's what I should be doing right now instead of live streaming, because it's gonna be a rainy day, so I'm not gonna hit the road. But that video of the top 10 best small towns in the South, I think Warner Robins, I got it on that list, and it's a good town. It's Macon sucks. Macon is horrible. Macon is just a gang infested slum. But around Macon aren't that bad. And Warner Robins is nice. And actually, I talked to a guy that lives here in Montgomery, and I asked him, because he's military, so there's a military base in Warner Robins, just like there's one here in Montgomery. So I have customers. A lot of my customers here are military, and I asked them, like, where other places have you lived in? And one of the most common places they tell me is Columbus, Georgia, or Warner Robins, Georgia. According to my customers, Warner Robins is about exactly the same thing as Montgomery. Like, they're like, most people, like, there's no difference. So Warner Robins is about the same as Montgomery, same type of deal, very similar. So I'm like, which one do you like more? Like, it's pretty much the same crap. So that gives me an idea of what those two places are like. I almost moved there too, by the way. That would have been like, because that was on one of the cheapest areas you could buy. So I almost moved there. Been looking for houses there, and the prices are shooting up daily. Yeah, Warner Robins, you could have got a house there. When I bought my house up here in Montgomery, for $95,000, I could have got like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I mean, like a block house built. Like, that house is probably worth 140 now, or 150. Well, my house, I couldn't believe it. Like, I bought it for 65, and I put a roof on it, so I got like 80 in it, really. But I couldn't believe, I went down there there's a house in my city right now that's just sold for $104,000. It's like a row house, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath row house. It built the same year as my house. It's a row house in like a neighborhood in the city I live in. Your lot's like a 7,000 square foot lot. It's a row house. You know what a row house is, where they're all like up against each other, and your neighbor's wall is your wall? Yeah, like that. And it's sold for $104,000. So I sat back and I told myself, what? If a row house in my city just sold for $104,000, my house has got to be worth at least 140, 150. So I think I wouldn't say I've made $60,000 so far in this property. I would. Oh, you guys see that butterfly? There it goes. There it goes. Look at the butterflies, man. There it goes up there. I don't know if you guys can see the butterflies, but when it starts to be summer out here, it's like the butterflies, all that stuff keeps coming through here. It's pretty. It gets pretty. Well, the thing about Warner Robins and all that, like, I wouldn't say like I've made $60,000. I would say the U.S. dollar has depreciated about 40%. That's the way I wouldn't say that my house is worth more money now. I think the U.S. dollar has depreciated about 40 to 45%. So it's not that prices are going up. It's that the dollar's worth less. I don't think my house is worth more money now than what it was a year ago when I bought it. That doesn't even make sense. I don't think my house is worth more money. I just think that the dollar is worth so much less. But the thing about the US dollar is that it depreciates differently versus real estate in different areas. And that is, if you're investing, you need to watch out for that. You heard what I said? In comparison to real estate prices, the US dollar depreciates differently in different areas. I hope you got that clearly. Compared, I'm saying it one more time in case you missed it. Compared to real estate prices, the US dollar depreciates differently in different places. And in the area that I live in, the dollar is depreciated versus real estate tremendously. Therefore, my house is now worth more compared to the US dollar. This place hasn't changed. So what that means for you is if you take your money out of, if you have money in real estate and you take it out of one market and you put it into the next market that's going to depreciate or appreciate differently, okay, you'll make a huge profit. So, like, let's say what I did, I took my money out of Naples, Florida, and I brought it here. Prices in Naples, Florida have gone up just like they've gone everywhere, but at a bigger percentage here. So, I don't know if that even makes sense to you, but that's really the only thing that I can understand. Like, I don't look at it as now my house is worth $140,000. But now that this property's gone up, there's other places that haven't gone up at the same rate. In other words, the dollar still buys you the same house in those places. And some of those places are maybe Georgia, North Florida. There's places where they've had a 20% increase in prices, but they haven't had, and when it comes to buying real estate, like every $10,000-$20,000 you add onto a property makes a difference. So now I wouldn't sell my property for 120 after I just bought it for 100 or something, let's say, right? But by the way, make sure you hit the like button. I want to have more likes than viewers on this video. But there's places now where if I can get 140 for this place right here, or even I can't even imagine somebody paying 150 for this place. But if somebody were to pay 140 for this property, that is super tempting because I could take that 140, 150 back to Florida now. Okay, and then my money will go longer because I'll be getting a better property in a better area. The thing about going back to Florida is that employment there sucks. And so now I can't just look now at real estate. Now I have to look at work. So on one side, I can increase, on the real estate side, I can increase my money by taking it back to Florida. At this, if I can get 140, 150, because I came here with 100,000, but now I'm at 150. That's $50,000 more. That gives me more options. So I could sell here for 140, 150. If somebody were to pay 150 for this property, I'd almost take it. But I would probably buy a house in Florida and rent it. Let's say, buy a house in Florida and rent it and stay living up here in these areas because there's more work up here. Because the income is better up this way. So I don't know. So it's not so much that I like where I'm at. I love it. Katie's like, I'm not moving. I told Katie, I'm like, let's move. She's like, it's not gonna happen. But if I'm looking at the real estate market right now, and if I can get $140,000, but then $100,000 got you more of a house a year ago than 140 does now. That's the other thing to consider. How much is $140,000 really worth right now, and in what market? So. And I'm not gonna move to Florida where, on the work side, right? On the real estate side, it makes sense, but on the work side, why am I gonna move to a place in Florida where thousands of other people are moving to and they can't even get jobs there? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I go back to a place where there's people moving to? Anyways, off that topic, like for me now, it's not just the real estate side. You can make, the thing about real estate, you can make money on the real estate side without breaking your back. On the labor side, you got to kill yourself. Like right here, I brought $80,000 and put it into this house. Now I can get 140. I just made $60,000. Do you know how hard I got to work to make $60,000 with my sweat? That's not easy. So is it better living in Alabama? For me, it is. Now, if you're retired and you got more money, you already have cash flow, then you can go to Florida better. But here's the thing: I don't have traffic here. I don't know. I don't think I'm. If I moved to Florida, it would be like somewhere out in North Florida in the middle of nowhere. It would not be South Florida again. The only place I'd consider moving to in South Florida would be Okeechobee. I would consider moving to Okeechobee, Florida. But then again, what I do is not what you do. So like you have to look at what you like. Or what works for me is like if I would consider Okeechobee, Florida, but then I look at real estate there. They want $150,000 for a mobile home right now. Dude, I'm living in a house on an acre. I'm not gonna go from living in a house to moving into a trailer. Quality of life is everything, and the quality of life up here is better. There's no traffic. I mean, look at this place, bro. Look at this place. Like, look at this place. Look at how I hear a chicken crowing, a rooster, a hummingbird. You know what I mean? Like, how am I gonna give this up to go live back in Florida with my neighbors? You know, to live in a neighborhood with people on top of you. I can't give that up. Well, there's no doubt the weather's better in Alabama. The weather is better. The people are friendlier. The jobs pay better. The weather is mild. Why would I give this up? I mean, look at this. This is my backyard. I can go right now and I can right there. And just walk outside and boom, 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 right there. It's just for fun if I feel like it. If I want to light a mattress on fire and watch it burn, I can do that right here in my backyard. I don't have to like the freedom of this place. Why would I give this up to go live in a city with people on top of you? Like, you know, I don't have to worry. I can leave stuff laying around and I don't have to worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, I sit here. Like, sometimes I just walk outside and I can just do this. You know, I can just walk outside right now. I can walk outside my backyard right now and go right there, like, whatever. Yeah, it's nice and peaceful in Alabama. South Georgia's about the same. Georgia's about the same in some places. Now, Georgia has places that are ridiculous. That's the other thing. Don't think Georgia, if you're in Florida right now and you want to move somewhere more affordable, don't think Georgia's more affordable. Unless you end up, like, I think Rome, I don't know what, I like Rome. I like Rome a lot. Like, so far, I think I want to look into, I would consider Georgia because it's very similar to Alabama, but Alabama's better all the way around. We just went up to, like, what are the best parts of Alabama? Cherokee County, Cartersville. We did all that. I liked Rome a lot. It's not a fancy city. Rome doesn't seem like it's incredibly fancy, but the poverty rate is staggering. It's like when you look at Rome, when you compare Rome, Georgia to Montgomery, Alabama, you're like, wow, it's bad. So like the thing is, like, people think because Georgia has it sounds prettier. You know what I mean? Georgia sounds prettier than Alabama. Sounds like it's a bunch of hicks and backwards and country. Oh, and Georgia sounds fancier and all Blue Ridge Mountain. You know what I mean? People, Georgia sounds prettier. You know what I mean? It sounds prettier. But the reality of it is, compare Rome, Georgia to Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery's it's better. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it might not be as pretty, or, you know, it might not sound as pretty. When you look at incomes and all that crap, and it's a whole different story. So, you know, that's the thing about Georgia. Don't think it's all that much better than Florida. In fact, talk to people when I go to, like, when I talk to, like, when I go to, like, a restaurant. Let's say I go to Georgia, right? And I go to a restaurant. I talk to the waitress. I'm like, yo, what's it like living here? You know, like, what you make, do you feel like it's enough for you to live? And like the overall quality of life. I'm looking at a little bird on a tree over here. You guys probably can't see it with the camera. There it goes. You wouldn't believe how many little birds and mockingbirds and stuff there is out here. You can just sit out here for hours looking at different animals. It's incredible. But yeah, the quality of life, you can't even compare it. Alabama's that much better. By the way, it was supposed to rain today. It still hasn't started raining. Like, I looked at the weather channel. I was like, oh man, it's gonna rain all day. I'm not even gonna be able to do anything. And then I've been on this live stream for 40 minutes, and it still hasn't rained. You can't trust the weather channel. I could have actually hit the road today. I think this cold front kind of like stalled out a little bit already. Oh, it's gonna get cold tonight, by the way. It's gonna get back in the 30s, which I love it. Like, I don't mind it. Like, I thought at first, oh, it's gonna get in the 30s. That's horrible. No, like, I love it. I don't even have to turn the air conditioner, the heater on. Like, you turn the heater on when it gets into like the 30s overnight, the whole night, and then you turn it off for a little bit. Once the house is warm, I turn it off, and that's it. So, another thing, like, since my house is newer, this house was built in like 2000 something. It's not an old house. My air conditioning system's not, and it was vacant. Like, I think this house has been vacant. They built it and it was vacant for long periods of time, so there's not a lot of dust, or like the air ducts are not full of dust. You know what I mean? Like, it's not completely like, like the air ducts aren't full of dust. What's up, History Unleashed? Well, I'm on board. Like, the air ducts aren't full of dust and stuff, and like the heater doesn't bother me. When I lived in Kentucky, I used to get so sick from the heater. But in Kentucky, like, it's running full. You have to run the heater 24/7 up north in Kentucky. Like, there's no way you're not gonna have it out running. And my parents are Cuban, so they had it like at 85, so I would get nosebleeds all the time. The house was old, so since the house was old, the dust was horrible. I can feel the breeze coming from. It's about to start raining a little bit, but no, I love it out here. I think overall Alabama's better than Georgia and Florida on the livability side. I don't like Mississippi. Katie liked Mississippi, but I don't know what she sees. She's looking for different stuff than me. I don't like Mississippi too much, to be honest. Everywhere I went in Mississippi, you could smell like stuff burning. I don't like that. Like, if people all they do is smoke, it's like, come on, man. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like in everywhere with Mississippi, you could smell it burning. I don't like that too much. Like, here in Alabama, Florida's everywhere. Like, I don't like that. It's like you're either, I don't know. I don't like that. Like, even people who do it can probably testify that it's not a good thing when you're in a neighborhood and that's all you smell. So I don't like Mississippi too much. I didn't like Mississippi. I didn't like Mississippi all that much. And I could go, and the videos didn't do all that great. So I like the way that sounds. But yeah, I mean, I love the freedom here in Alabama, that I could just sit here in my backyard and go. I love it. I love that. In fact, I might do it in a little bit. I love it. This stuff is getting hard to find right here. So right now there's a shortage on this stuff, so you got to be really careful how you use it. This is just great information about living and moving to the place. Oh yeah, I mean, I give good information. Yeah, I would say Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida. Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. Let's see. Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama. I can see me living in these places. I couldn't see me living in Louisiana. Louisiana, Mississippi, I couldn't see me living in those places. But the thing about Alabama too, it's not just like laugh out loud, you're wild, and I do, for real. And learning the dust and other stuff, thanks. Yeah, I love it here. I love it here. It's just incredible. Somehow I got enough signal. I don't even know how I got signal here. I guess in the summer when the trees get thicker, I'll lose signal. So right now it's thinned out enough to where I'll get signal here. But in the summer when the trees get really thick, I won't have signal. Oh, another incredible thing. They're going to bring internet. They said by the end of the year, I'll have internet here. By the end of the year. It's going to be Central Alabama Electrical Co-op, I think is what it's called, which is a company that provides me with electricity here. They're going to bring internet. So we'll have internet here by the end of the year, for sure. And it's going to be the fastest. It's going to be faster for $99 a year. It's going to be faster than any internet I ever had, even in Naples, Florida. In Naples, Florida, I had a Comcast, and it was like $140 a month for like 300 or something like that. I'm going to have 1,000. So my internet will be incredible. So with faster internet, I can do a different like right now I'll do a lot of videos from my iPhone. because I have to, really, because the internet here in my property hasn't really been the best. So we'll have better internet. They just paved my road. The only thing I hope doesn't happen is that they don't start trying to build houses around me, because behind me there's a 16-acre property. Hey, no, it hasn't started raining yet. It was like when I like 45 minutes ago when I started the live stream, it was supposed to start raining right then and there, and it hasn't even started raining yet. Tomorrow starts Eastern with rabbits and eggs. Drive safe, rabbits. Yeah. So right here, it was supposed to, when I started the live stream, it was supposed to start raining right then and there. But somehow, 45 minutes waiting for it to start raining. It should have started raining already. I don't know what happened. But the property behind me has 16 acres. There's 16 acres behind me, and there's one house down there somewhere on 16 acres. And that house is going to be on the market. And it's going to go for like $500,000. And she says she wants at least $500,000 or $600,000 for it. So I just hope that a developer doesn't buy it, because if a developer buys it, I hope not. I mean, around me, like, that much land would make a great subdivision. 16 acres. There's only one old house on that property. It would make a great little subdivision. And 16 acres, you could put 45 houses there. I could end up with 45 houses behind me right here. And then my property, see, there's a hill here. When they clear their side, my property would overlook. Like, from there, you would be able to see all that. If they cleared the whole thing and put houses on it, you would be able to see, like, the ridge line of the houses there. It would just be horrendous. I hope they don't do it. And then there's also another property there that's, I think, 4 acres. And they're trying to get $120,000 for 4 acres. I thought it would be like $60,000, but it's twice that. So make sure you hit the like button if you're tuning in, please. Thunderstorm warning runs till 5 p.m. Yeah, so we're in the thunderstorm warning now. Weather network guy said storm's coming. It's firing up. Yeah, it's fired up. So we'll see. There won't be no tornadoes. I hope there's no tornadoes in this one. Probably not. I don't think there's gonna be any tornadoes in this one. But so there probably won't be any tornadoes in this one. I like the sound of rain. It's just peaceful, very peaceful. But well, I want to be on the road. If they were up to me right now, I'd be in Florida right now. I want to go back to Florida for a few days, but I don't have enough money to do it. And I got too many things I'm trying to do around the house. Like, for a while, like, I got houses. Like, see, like, I got see here. I've cut down these trees. I've cut down that one, and there's a bigger one right there. I don't want to have big trees near the house. Every time I cut down one of these big trees, I got to pay somebody like $300 to come with a big chainsaw and do it. It's not that I don't know how to do it. I know how to do it, but I'd rather let somebody who does it for a living cut it, because if a tree falls in the wrong direction, it's going to cut my house in half. So I don't want to do that. So I pay somebody who knows what they're doing. But you can see that I've cut down a lot of these. I have more trees near the house that I want to cut. Every time I do, that's $300 or $400. So it's like, either I hit the road to make videos. Eventually, I got to, like, retract back into my property and say, okay, like, there's things that I want to do that I don't do. So, like, I want to hit the road and be on the road all the time, but I can't do that. I got the property, I got my vehicles to keep maintenance on, so, like, I can't just, like, hit the road forever. So this month is going to be a stay-at-home month. I mean, I can do small little day trips and stuff, but nothing major. I think next month I might hit the road again. But, like, see, like, we've done a lot of video trips that haven't been successful. I went to Tennessee. That cost like $1,000, man. Between hotels, food, gas, that's like $1,000. I know. I'm gonna get a metal detector. This area has been inhabited for a very long time. And this is like a mountain here. Like, this is the peak of a mountain here. So, like, in my backyard, it could be burial grounds to the Indians. I've thought about all that. I need to get a metal detector and start metal detecting. I found what I thought was a piece of gold. Right up that way. Up there, I found a piece of gold one time. And I lost it. I didn't think it was real, but then I heard there was gold in there. I was like, oh, crap, I don't know where I put it. Yeah. I put it somewhere and I lost it. But anyways, yeah, there's all types of interest. And then there's a creek out back and all that. Yeah, it's neat stuff out here. But anyways, I'm kind of divided between the Tennessee trip to Nashville was a failure. I mean, like I'm not gonna make back that money. That trip wasn't. The Florida trip made me money. The one trip where I went to Florida about a month ago, that trip did pay itself off in YouTube revenue. So that trip, whatever I spent, I made back. But this Tennessee trip was a failure. The Mississippi trip was a failure. So that's two trips that I've taken. Georgia has kind of I broke even on Georgia. I haven't made money on Georgia, but I've broke even on Georgia. So, and then actually this last trip to Atlanta didn't do all that well. But the thing is, like, I'll make a video in Montgomery, and it'll get 6,000 views. So, like, mathematically, when you look at YouTube, I can spend $1,000 on a video and make $60 back, or I can spend 20 and make 100. You know what I mean? Love your channel. It's cloudy in South Florida today too. Cool. You know, my dad's in South Florida. He was upset because he wanted me to go down there this week, and I was like, Dad, I want to go, but like, I just can't do it right now. Everything takes money. But I'm saying, like, sometimes I'll make a video where I'll spend $20 in gas and I'll make $100 off the video. And there's other videos where I'll make 80 off the video and I spend 1,000 to make it. So, but at the same time, I have to know about Tennessee. I have to know about Georgia. I have to know about Mississippi. I have to know about all these things. And let me tell you, like, all these YouTubers, I'll make videos about the whole entire country. Like top 10 lists of the whole entire country. They have no idea what they're talking about. They possibly can't. I mean, I'm in Alabama. And for the last 9 months, we've done nothing but travel the entire state of Alabama. And under what circumstance I haven't even covered a third of the state. Not even. So, if I made a video about Alabama, even, like right now, I'm going to make a video about the top 10 best small towns in Alabama. Like real small towns. I haven't even gone to every small town in Alabama. Like, Florida, I understand, but I've been there for 20 years. That's a whole different story. And I don't understand all of Florida. I understand, like, south of I-4 and some areas in the north part of Florida. You know, I don't know the whole state. There's parts of Florida that now that I live in Alabama, I've been able to explore the Panhandle. I'm just now starting to get a feel for the Panhandle. So, like, when these people make these videos, top 10 places in the country, they got no idea what the crap they're talking about, for the most part. How could they? You know what I mean? Like, how could they? Have they been traveling since they were kids? I don't know. Anyways, but to really get a feel for a place, Tennessee, I didn't like the home prices in Tennessee. Like, I don't see how, like, when I went to, like, Tennessee, and I went to, like, 5 or 6 small towns, Columbia, Pulaski, went to, like, 5 or 6 small towns in Tennessee. When I look at the real estate prices in those towns, okay, man, so a tiny little house in like, Columbia is like $200,000. I'm like, I don't see how. Do you know what $200,000 gets me here in Alabama? And I don't see it being like the weather is actually colder and crappier in Tennessee. The jobs don't seem all that much better. There's not that much more movement. You know what I mean? Like, even now, like when I get on Interstate 85 and 65 through Montgomery, like, you see trucks, equipment, you see money moving. You know. You don't see money moving in these, like Columbia. You don't see money moving through there, Columbia, Tennessee. But a house is $200,000. How? And this place like Rome, Georgia, north of Atlanta, I was just there, and when I look at that place, I would actually like to. It seems like a neat town to live in. Great area too. As far as getting to other places too, Chattanooga, Atlanta, all of that. You know, nice mountains up in Georgia, but when you look at their incomes on the internet, it's like, crap, it's worse than Montgomery. Like, how's that even a thing? You know what I mean? So, and like when you compare, like, let's say you compare Montgomery to Birmingham. Birmingham has 100 times more things going on. Like, you can't even compare Montgomery to Birmingham as far as things to do. I would live in Montgomery within city limits. I would not live in Birmingham. And yes, somebody is welding in the background. But I would not live in I would not even consider living in Birmingham within city limits. I live in the suburbs, hands down. Actually, I love to live in the suburbs. There's a carpenter or a squirrel going up one of those trees. Katie needs to get her real estate license. She hasn't done it yet. She's got her own speed, and I wish the girl could do more. But she's got to take control of her own situation. Like I can't force her. Like I'm a very active person. I'm always doing something. She's got a slower speed of life, and I can't. I've been here with her for 12 years, and believe me, there's no making her. There's nothing that I can do is going to change her speed of life. So she's got to figure that out herself. Me, I would have got. If I was her already, I'd have that real estate license, and I would have sold 20 houses by now. But she's got her own speed, and that's the way she is. I can't force her to be any other way. I wish she had my. If she had my speed, if Katie worked as much as I do and did as much as I do, we'd be millionaires by now. She's got. I don't even have high school. She's got her high school. But again, everybody has their own speed. Like I was born in Cuba. I came to the United States at 6 years old with nothing. We lived in. We came to. We got. We landed in Louisville, Kentucky. We lived in Kentucky for 4 years, not knowing English. Nobody in Kentucky knew Spanish back then. Now there's more Spanish people. Back there, nobody knew Spanish in Kentucky. Then we moved to Florida with nothing again. Again, boom. We went from from Cuba to Florida to Kentucky. Kentucky, we came to Florida. The first week that I spent in Florida, we weren't even coming down here. When we went to Florida, we didn't even come to Florida to stay. We were gonna go to Florida and then come back. We were just gonna scope out Naples. Okay, we got to Naples and my dad started working, and we like the first week in Naples we were in a hotel, and then we slept on the floor for about 2 weeks until a neighbor gave us a mattress. Like I'm a person that came from nothing, so being a person that came from nothing, I have a lot more drive and desire. She comes from a family that basically they're inheriting money, so you just can't compare somebody who, like an American who inherits money to a Cuban who came from nothing. I'm gonna have a much more drive, much more desire to do things. Like for her, like I don't even think it's a cultural thing. I just think it's like lifestyle thing. Like if you come from a background where it's comfortable, you're not really driven. But if you come from a lifestyle like me, where when I was a little kid in Cuba, we didn't have food. I remember being hungry as a kid. You know what I mean? So I remember fighting for food when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I remember we used to just understand how much poverty we went through in Cuba. I remember somebody that in the family used to get. You ever eat like a pancake? You know that paper at the bottom of the pancake? It's like a paper that goes underneath the pancake. So we knew somebody that worked at a bakery, and they would give us the papers from the bakery. So we would pick up the garbage from a bakery. Okay, we would pick up the garbage from a bakery, and then those papers we would chew on them. And then there's always a little bit of like the flavor from the flavor from the bread and all that soaks into the sheets, and we would pick up from the behind the bakery would pick up the sheets, and then we were supposed to chew on them and then spit the paper out, but we would get so hungry we would actually eat the paper. I remember eating the paper. You get what I'm saying? Like I came from a country where when I was little I would eat paper because I was so hungry. On the way to school, I didn't have breakfast in the morning. And on the way to school, there was a little truck that sold. Breakfast, and all the rich, better off kids. I won't even say rich, just better off. All the better off kids, they could pay. They could pay to have breakfast before they went to school. I remember every single day in my life walking to kindergarten in Cuba, smelling the food, and not one time being able to afford that food. I remember the smell of it. I never got to know what it was. And my parents couldn't buy it for me one time, because if they buy it for you one time, then you know what it is, then you're gonna want it. So they were never, and then they probably were able to do it at some point, and they never did it because then I would get used to it. But I remember walking to school every single day in kindergarten in Cuba, smelling the food, not being able to have it. So being from a different background, coming from a background of pretty much starving, I'm not gonna come to the United States now and then not be a German person. How? But she's coming from a background where wait for somebody to die and then you have money. So you can't even compare how driven I am compared to how driven. Like people here in the United States don't understand how much opportunity there is. Like I mean, people here, I'm disgusted by somebody who has opportunity, You have a driver's license. You live in a country where there's work, there's everything. How are you not going to go out there and get it? You know, how are you going to just sit around and be a drug addict? Or how are you going to sit, you know what I mean? How do you do that to yourself in a place where there's people like, when you come from where I come from, there is no opportunity. Much respect to you, Jose. You're really going places, and I'm sure you're going to be successful in everything you do. I mean, I put effort into it. And even here, it hasn't been easy. Guys, we're an hour into this live stream. That's more time that I was going to devote to it. So I'm going to end this live stream here. But no, like, I want her to get her real estate license. She just needs to get around to it. I can't do it for her. She's got to do it for herself. I also need to do my drone license. I have a drone sitting there in a closet. You guys paid for it, by the way. It's your drone. I have it sitting there in a closet. I can fly it recreationally. Ooh, look at this. Looks like a beetle. Ah. But anyways, I'm gonna end this live stream. At 61 minutes. So say your goodbyes and all that. But you know, how can I don't know. I'm just more driven, and again, I got to get my drone license. I need to go to a school for that soon. But with lockdowns, it's been impossible to get a class. Checking out. Love you guys and stay out of trouble. And I'm gonna be working on some videos for you guys. All right, we're in this live stream now.